Hey, what's going on guys? Victor here, back with another video, and today we're going to talk about coming up with a believable cover story for limb lengthening, especially when it's done for height gain. Whether it's to avoid those annoying, awkward questions, or just to keep your limb lengthening journey private due to the social stigma that still exists around the procedure, having this go-to explanation can really come in handy. But before we begin, I should probably say that these excuses are dependent on who and how well you know the person that you're telling them to, and you'll understand what I mean in a little bit. So first up, we have cover story number 1, an old accident in need of deformity correction. So for this one, what you need to do is first lay the groundwork for the excuse by saying that you had a big accident, that fractured some part of your leg bones and it didn't heal well. Then you'll go on by saying that you've been having pain in your knee or your hips. And what do you do when you're in pain? Well, you do what everyone does when they are in pain. They go get it checked out by the doctor. And then you're referred to a surgeon who then takes an x-ray and says that you have some sort of axial deviation or misalignment of your legs, which is causing undue stress on your knee and or hip, whichever you decide. And then the surgeon basically says that you have two options: to either live a low impact lifestyle or to get deformity correction to realign the leg bones and avoid an early onset of arthritis, to also potentially avoid an early hip or knee joint replacement. And so you, not wanting to sit sedentary on the sidelines watching life pass you by or live the rest of your life in severe joint pain, basically take option 2 and opt for the surgery. Then you go on to cement the story by saying that the surgeon mentioned that when they straighten your leg bones, you might actually get a little taller due to the bone being in proper alignment. Okay, and you can fill in the basic details like how long it might take to recover, get back to normal life, and all of that fun stuff. But the point is that they should be pretty understanding of your situation at this point and leave you alone. Now, I do want to say that this is only going to work for people who are not very close to you and know that you did or didn't have a big enough accident to break both of your leg bones. Okay, this can work well for people like coworkers or people who are in that general range of personal proximity. Take it from Socrates and Hani. They both broke their legs on a motorcycle. Okay, well, actually, I think Hani really did, but you get my point.
So the problem with getting tibias then is I'm talking to a new girl, right? And so at this point, she just knows I had a motorcycle accident last year and my legs are broken. I did not say that this caused the other. I'm just like, this happened and now my legs are broken. And she's like she literally just texted me. She was like, how are your legs feeling? And I was like, they're doing great. Thanks. So, I'm going to lengthen and then consolidate, but then going through tibia lengthening with like my girlfriend, I'm hesitant to do that. You know what I mean? So I got to figure that out.
She's going to say you better get a new driver's license.
All right, time for cover story number 2, correcting a leg length discrepancy. So it's a fact that many people live with small discrepancies, sometimes up to 5 centimeters or more, and they manage it with shoe lifts, insoles or other orthotics. And you could basically say that you had a discrepancy of whatever amount you're planning to lengthen to, and you're sick of wearing shoe lifts, and so you met with a surgeon who basically said that surgery, leg lengthening surgery, is the simple but the only permanent way to fix out this leg height imbalance. And people find this as a relatable explanation because they can understand it. Okay, it makes medical sense that your back or your knee or your hip hurts because you're off in terms of like leg height. Not only that, but they're more common than most people would think. The only thing is that it only works for certain people. Those in your close inner circle are probably not going to buy it. And finally, cover story number 3, the Sleight of Height technique. This is my favorite. Like most things in medicine, prevention is key, and the absolute best way to come up with a cover story is to create one. And what do I mean by this? Well, basically, it's by using this technique that I call the Sleight of Height technique. And if you didn't see my How to Keep Limb Lengthening a Secret video, you can check it out. I'll put a link in the description. But essentially, it's a technique that has 2 parts, okay? It's basically to create a distraction over here so they don't realize what's happening over here, okay? So you're gonna come up with all these different scenarios that's gonna kind of hide the limb lengthening that's happening. And so what you're gonna do is, over the course of at least a year, preferably 2 or 3, if you know you're gonna get limb lengthening surgery done that far out, you're gonna start putting gradual increased elevation insoles into your shoes, okay? That means every quarter or 3 months of the year, you're gonna be increasing by, let's say, 1/4 of an inch. Then by the end of 2 years, you're now gonna be like 2 inches taller, okay? That's quite a bit, and you can kind of easily swap out for the leg lengthening surgery, give or take. Now, I know it's gonna be very hard to put 2 full inches of insoles into your shoes because it's gonna stuff your foot to the top and be really painful. So what you can do is actually put up to, let's say, 3/4 of an inch inside of your shoes, and then you can go ahead and build out the shoe sole itself by going to a place like Shoe Lift Express, or American Healers. I've had both of those guests, those owners, on the channel as guests. Mariana and Ilya Romanov, fantastic people. I'll have links to their companies in the description. I suggest you check them out. Or even if you're a leg length discrepancy patient, you can build out one of your shoes. Fantastic place. I've used them before in the past as well. To further add to the illusionary effect, you can also change things like your hairstyle. You can go to yoga, you can go see a chiropractor, you can start stretching, okay? The point is that you're trying to further imply that you are changing your appearance, you're changing your body, and you're making a change in your lifestyle, so that when it's time to make that swap for leg lengthening, they're gonna just say that it's all these things that you were doing, and that's the point of the sleight of height. Although when it comes time for the surgery, you're probably still gonna have to come up with an excuse of why you've been gone for so long, which can be things like family matters, work, or whatever excuse you like. But the point is that after you gain your height from the surgery, you will immediately remove all the elevation from your shoes, the insoles and the build or whatever, so that you're standing taller, not because of the orthotics or the insoles, but because your bones got longer from leg lengthening surgery, okay? So, and if people still ask you and they say, hey, it looks like you've gotten taller, say maybe, or it could be because I've been going to see the chiropractor and elongating my spine, or I've been starting this stretching regimen, or I've changed my hairstyle or my clothing, or whatever excuse you want to come up with. The point is that you've been changing your appearance over the course of this 2 to 3 year period, and they really won't notice a whole lot because they're going to notice that you were doing a whole lot of differences then. And that's the point of it. That's the point of the sleight of height technique. It's to create an illusionary distraction over here to hide leg lengthening surgery over here. It's been working really well for a lot of patients that I've been talking to over the last couple of years. The only thing is that it does take more planning from further out, so you're going to need to know if you're going to get the surgery done in the future, and if so, it works really well. And it's probably the most believable if you can pull it off. Now, while having a cover story might make your social interaction smoother, it's important to remember that, saying you got lengthening surgery or not is completely up to you. And what matters most is that you feel comfortable with your decision. And I think that JP, a stature lengthening patient himself, made a great comment in a recent live stream that we had. He basically said that, big up to stature lengthening patients for, showing their faces and proving that getting limb lengthening surgery is nothing to be ashamed of. And I just gotta say, well said, JP. Hats off to you. That's a fantastic statement. So true. Look, there's nothing to be ashamed of, guys. It's your choice, it's your body, and I think that's completely up to you. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Remember, regardless of your reason of wanting to get limb lengthening surgery done, it's a path to self-improvement and personal happiness. So with that said, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have any of you guys had limb lengthening surgery done and have to come up with a cover story? And if so, how did it go? Was it successful? Was it not? What other tips would you like to provide? Do that in the comments below. And if you guys found the video helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. And until next time, this is Victor from Cyborg for Life, signing out. Peace.